as a normal process of life, there's no way we will not produce some of these things. Because if you think of what some people call a zero pollution situation, then you are probably saying that first there will be no industries. But then there are goods and services that the modern man needs in the normal course of moving about, living, and what have you. So we should really not be talking of a zero pollution situation, but maybe how we can get everybody to be aware that our activities, whether through industrial or domestic production, can impact negatively on the environment. But then, the environment is not something far. That is where we all live. So we all should be concerned.
Very easy to say, for example, that yes, we have to provide water for everyone. But how do we do it? How do we deliver such an objective? So the traditional way of doing things is to work in silos, isolated. So each of these agenda, food security, water, energy, poverty, eradication, etc., have been dealt in a somewhat isolated way.
As the world saw in 2010, the Gulf of Mexico deepwater oil spill had a devastating effect on the entire marine ecosystem, as well as the populations that depend on the marine areas for their livelihoods. Smaller oil spills happen every day due to drilling incidents or leaking motors and cause the death of birds, marine mammals, algae, fish, and shellfish.
When human populations were much smaller, the solution was to move on. So you destroy your natural resources in one area, and then you move on to another place where there's plenty of natural resources to exploit. Well, that solution is not available anymore. We're reaching the limits of the planet. That's the reality, and societies have to learn this, that they have to change the way they utilize natural resources to fit within the capacity of planet Earth.
Microplastics and plastic pellets are found on most beaches around the world. Pollution also poisons our food. The toxins and plastic ingested by fish and shellfish end up in our plate, and the consumption of shellfish and other seafood is often banned briefly to avoid food poisoning. This pollution costs the fishing and shipping industry millions of dollars. Discarded plastic bags get caught in both propellers and cooling intakes, damaging the engines.
The biodiversity agenda is not just about a problem. Yes, we have a problem. We're losing biodiversity very fast, and that will have consequences because we take it for granted. We depend on biodiversity for many, many things, and we're losing the capacity of the natural ecosystems to provide the goods and services which we count on for our daily lives.
Loss of habitat and biodiversity is increasingly impairing the ocean's capacity to provide food and other services. The extinction of fish species could lead to starvation or undernourishment. Ghost fishing that occurs when discarded fishing nets entangle marine life indiscriminately as they continue to float in the ocean, reduce fishers' revenues from lost catch.
The assurance that we work has to be carrying not only from the government point of view. Private sector is very critical to this matter. In most of cases, we draw the situation down to the realm of government, federal government, state government. No. There's time to which they can work on this, it can be effective on this one without carrying the private sector along with us. It's still going to be a problem.
So far, how would you describe the participation of the private sector?
Well, the private sector at the level, I think we need a lot more sensitization of private sector to key into this area. Private sector may look at it from the money making only, but we look at it beyond that: security, safety, and be able to protect the own environment. An important area we can talk about: exploitation of deep sea resources, minerals. We can talk about fishing. We can talk about fishing at various strata, deep sea fishing. And there are a lot of deep sea resources we are not able to tap that can lead to a lot of solve or address the situation of food security. The private sector is very, they can be a leverage to a lot of issues that can turn to real money, turn to reinvestment, and make Nigeria less an importer of fish and be able to food, apart from the other resources. So private sector, their role is very critical on this matter. Yet the government can provide the enabling environment. And that enabling environment is to make it easier for the private sector to invest and create the right environment for investment purposes.
Well, that's our program for today. Do join us next time if you could. I am Ayola Kasim from all of us here. Do have yourself a lovely day.